Hey guys, Martin Rooney here from Training for Warriors. And if you saw part 2 of this series and now you're seeing part 3, hopefully you saw a pretty radical difference between my first run and my last run. And what's interesting is over the years, having worked with so many top combat athletes and athletes of all different sports, just making some simple shifts from the problems that I talked about in the last video to that video, you can get people looking really good. One thing in particular that comes to mind, I was working with the Miller brothers, Dan and Jim Miller, and we had coaches from Europe, Olympic coaches that came in to watch the workout. And they didn't know what sport they did, and they said, hey, who are those sprinters? Those guys look fantastic. Those sprinters are awesome. And I said, man, those aren't sprinters, those are fighters. And you know what they said? They said, hey, why are fighters running with such good form? And it almost hit me that there is no excuse not to run with good form, guys, and everybody could do it. It would be the same as deadlifting with bad technique or squatting with bad technique, and that's okay because you're a fighter or you play some other sport, which is definitely not the case. So what I want to do right now in part 3 of this series is review a little bit not only the mistakes, but like, hey, how to fix them. So mistake number 1 we talked about, people's heads are moving or side to side or front to back. They're using a lot of energy or the head is back. You want to keep the head in neutral, loose jaw, and be keeping it on a straight line. Wherever you're running, man, that head doesn't move at all, okay? So number 1, correct their head position. Maybe they take a few sprints, and that's what you work on first. That's all you work on, and you can really coach somebody up. Number 2 we talked about, arms crossing the body or the arms opening and closing. So hey, a great rule of thumb, put your arm in the shape of an L, and in that shape of the L, what I always try to imagine is there's a bar through my shoulder and everything just moves on the shoulder. So simple ideas. Hey, is the elbow gonna maybe move a little bit? Sure, it could, but if you just give them that rule of thumb, you're gonna make people look a lot better right off of the bat. You don't want people running back like this. Now the challenge is they may still do that, and that may be because their core is weak. So you're gonna have to possibly strengthen their core or technically improve them to fix that. But you wanna get in the right position, because the further somebody goes back, they can't really get those knees up. And if the knees don't come up, you're not gonna be running with much power. Now, speaking of knees up, hey, guys, they gotta get the leg up here. So you gotta get into this position to drive down into the ground and to be powerful. So many people that I see, the knees stay low and they never get that drive going. Now again, that could be a function of getting the legs a lot stronger. That's what you're doing in the gym with these guys anyway, but you gotta work on that technique to get those knees up. And finally, you wanna run on, whether you want to call it the balls of the foot or the forefoot, you want to be on the front of that foot when you're running. So many people are, again, and I use the words, sometimes I digress, it's sprinting. So not running, sprinting. See, when people are running, they're on their heel. When they're sprinting, man, they're on the balls of their feet and they're firing. That is a technical issue, and you got to teach that, because when people have learned the wrong way to do it, it sometimes falls apart. So right there, if you have the head straight, arms in a good position, torso's in a good position, knees are up, you're on the balls of the feet, man, instantly you could make somebody look radically better. But my advice is, if you try to give it all to them at once, it's like drinking out of a fire hydrant. What you have to do, maybe correct one thing, next session another thing, and hey, over a month's time, you've really improved their technique, but that's what coaching's all about. So hey, that was part 3. We're moving along here, giving you some great information, some stuff that I think can really help you out and also help the people that you're working with, and that is why I do this stuff. So hey, this is Martin Rooney from Training for Warriors, and we're gonna keep bringing you more information to make your people faster.